breaking in. Hurry up.
Okay. Do you know who it is?
He's at the front door. Just get the police here quick. He's in the house now, please. A man came in with a gun and put it to my mouth.
There are monsters. On a hot summer night, Darlene Ewalt of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, is sitting on this patio at 2 a.m., talking on the phone to a friend about a cruise she is planning to take. She does not know it, but she's being watched. Until, out of the darkness, an assailant wielding a long knife.
She just said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," and it was quiet.
Todd Ewalt, her husband, is sound asleep upstairs. Darlene Ewalt's throat is slit, and she is stabbed so violently she dies in minutes. Her family, her husband, and 2 children are devastated.
It hurts, but it can't change the past. I don't go outside alone anymore at night.
He devastated my life when he killed my wife. I mean, it just, I never felt anything close to that. I mean, it was, I felt like someone ripped my heart out of my chest.
Because a lot of nights I don't go to bed, don't sleep. You know, there's just lay in bed thinking about what happened.
This was no ordinary homicide. The FBI suspects it was done by a serial killer, using the highways to randomly target victims, to hunt and then escape. Police believe Darlene Ewalt's killer calmly walked back to his rig parked at a nearby truck stop and drove away, leaving the crime in his rearview mirror. 4 days later, a York, Pennsylvania woman narrowly escapes a shadowy figure, slashing at her neck as she startled from sleeping on her couch. July 28, 2007, 11 days later in Bloomsbury, New Jersey, 38-year-old Monica Massaro would not be so lucky. Around midnight, the killer pulls his rig into a truck stop near her home. The killer hid in the shadows, moving silently down these picturesque streets in the middle of the night looking for unlocked doors. Detective Jeffrey Noble of the New Jersey State Police.
He walked right up these front steps. Her front door was unlocked, and he walked right in her front door. Our investigation has shown that she was sleeping in her bed. She had been actually reading a novel. There was a book close by that she had been reading. Adam Lane went into her bedroom, spent some time in her bedroom, and at some point while he's in her bedroom, she wakes up. After her death, he then continued to stab her multiple times. She died alone and in the arms of this monster, and that bothers me. You know, she didn't have time to call for help. She didn't have time to run. She was cornered. She had nowhere to go.
Again, the killer gets into his truck and drives away, leaving not a trace of evidence linking him to the scene. Less than 24 hours later, the killer arrives in Chelmsford, Massachusetts. At 11 p.m., a woman in this apartment complex notices a man hiding in the bushes and calls police. When they arrived, the suspect had disappeared. But shortly after, police received a frantic 911 call.
Hello?
Please hurry, there's somebody outside my house. He's looking in all the windows.
Okay, what's the address?
Oh, he's trying to break in. Oh my God, somebody's trying to break in.
Okay, we have...
Somebody here.
Okay, these are going
Trying to break in right now.
Okay, what part of the house is he at?
He's at the front door.
He's at the front door?
You might be in the house. I can hear something now.
Kathy Crawley had gone outside after her daughter saw someone peering into their trailer.
I saw a man all dressed in black walking away, looked like a ninja with like holsters sticking out of his sides, and then he turned and looked at me, and it just wasn't right. So I ran in the house, we closed all the windows, and he followed me back, and fortunately we shut the lights, and he started banging on the door, and oh my God, I was totally freaked out, like it was surreal, like, you know, how could this be happening to me type thing.
The police arrive in minutes, but the suspect has again vanished. Despite all the commotion, the killer is undeterred. 90 minutes later, the killer makes his way to this house. Kevin and Jeannie McDonough are awakened by a noise from their 15-year-old daughter's bedroom. The masked intruder has his hand over her mouth, knife in the other hand.
What does he look like?
I have no idea. He has a mask on.
I need you to stay on the line with me. He has a mask on, all black mask. He has a gun and a knife.
He's big. He's like a big guy.
Where in the house is he? Do you know?
He's in my room. He came into my room and held. He put his hand over my mouth.
Okay.
And then held a knife to my throat.
Okay.
And told me if I screamed, he'll kill me.
All right.
Chelmsford Detective George Tyros worked the case.
She was told not to make any sounds. She began to whimper and cry. Fortunately, her parents were in the next bedroom, the adjacent bedroom, and they heard her whimpers and cries and a few other noises coming from her room. They immediately jumped up and ran to her aid.
Why can't he get out?
Because my dad's holding him down, and my parents won't leave until you guys come.
Okay, they're holding him down right now. They got him held down.
We were just fighting for our survival that night.
Evidence found at the scene scared even the police.
There was a couple of knives, large hunting knives, and there was also a fanny pack belt that had the knife sheaths hanging from it. There was choking wire, a Chinese throwing star, and there was a leather mask with the eyes cut out and the mouth cut out. Just a horrifying leather mask.
When police pull off the mask, they find Adam Leroy Lane, a truck driver from North Carolina. He tells them where his truck is. If they were not already shocked, what police found left them even more stunned. They find what appears to be trophies from past victims and a videotape.
He had several DVDs. One of them was actually inside of his DVD player, which was entitled Hunting Humans.
The killer in the video also hunts his victims with a knife.
I don't have a pattern. I take great pains not to have a pattern.
Detective Tyros decides to contact the FBI, which has a growing database of 80,000 unsolved, apparently random violent crimes from across the country. The FBI finds similarities with the cases in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and becomes convinced they are linked. They are able to do so thanks to the Highway Serial Killers Initiative, a new effort to identify links between killings and assaults happening along the nation's major highways.
Try to look for a missing person case in which that same tattoo is noted.
The FBI believes there have been at least 500 such murders over the last 30 years, and the Bureau worries there are many more cases out there.
We were surprised at the number of bodies. When we looked at the highways in particular and saw 500 out there, that causes some concern. And we think there's many more that just need to be put into our database that we haven't identified yet.
Roughly 200 suspects have been identified, the overwhelming majority truckers. Many of the cases involve truckers picking up young women at rest stops, killing them, and hiding their bodies hundreds of miles away from where they were murdered. The FBI's program allows police with baffling unsolved crimes to link cases that are sometimes half a country away.
And it seems to me that sometimes the suspects are using the distance as a smokescreen to cover their trail.
When they're dumping a body and being able to be 2 or 3 states away, it gives them, I imagine, a comfort or a feeling of security in the fact that it'll be difficult to identify them.
Adam Lane would later confess. He spoke about the New Jersey homicide in a way that Detective Noble says he will never forget.
I had the knife, it was on the bed. It's about that long, and she rolled against it and cut right here. There wasn't nothing to do. You couldn't, it was gushing everywhere. You couldn't do nothing with it.
During the interview with him, he described those events in detail, with callousness, without any type of remorse.
And police suspect that Adam Lane is also the person who murdered Darlene Ewalt, the woman killed on her patio in Pennsylvania. They say her blood is on one of Lane's knives. For Nightline, I'm Pierre Thomas.